However, for many years, foreigners were not allowed to travel to the Mogok region of Burma, famous for its high-quality gemstone mines. But as of late, the government had lifted the travel ban on foreigners, and a travel permit can be granted to hand-picked visitors to travel to this region.
Forget how special this really was. At the time, we were incredibly excited because for, gosh, how long ago is that now? So about 10 years of my career, Burma was this locked away treasure box that occasionally a stone or two would come out of, but there was no way we could actually go to the mines. And then the internationalization, the democratization of Burma or Myanmar, however you want to say it, started to gather pace. It looked like the Burmese people and government were re-engaging with the international community. And the future looked really incredibly bright. So we were incredibly excited because we're going into this treasure box the first time in a decade for me, the first time in 30 years for Western gemology. But now it's even more poignant because shortly after we visited, less than 6 months after we visited, COVID lockdowns were in place most of the way around the world. And by the time they had been released, the military junta had retaken control of Burma.
In 1942, while Japan was invading Burma, many locals took refuge in underground tunnels, and consequently, whilst extending out these tunnels, many found precious stones and continued to secretly run small-scale mines for the future wealth of their families. 3 years later, Britain regained control, and in 1948, Burma was granted its independence from the British Empire.
I love stories like this. This is one of those things where reality is just so much more interesting than any storybook. And when we visited, there were so many anecdotes that you just don't read in any of the big gemological articles. You know, you could go to GIA, you could go to the Gem A in London, you could go to every school going, but these are the real human stories. The ideas that where, you know, amongst all the difficulty and the dark times that Japanese occupation led for the Burmese people, who really have gone through the mill in the last 100 years, the hope as they're excavating these tunnels that would be life-saving is that you also find a gemstone that can be life-changing as well. And that's why I get so passionate about this incredible industry.
And we've just been shown the yield of a week's worth of mining, and unfortunately it's just a small dish with nothing that would yield a 1 carat plus stone. This really is incredible, but I think we all have to appreciate that we're coming to the end of the Spinel journey in Mogok. We're coming to the end of that incredible gemstone.
What I'd do for a nearly 1 carat gemstone today. I forgot how wet the trip was, actually. We were basically caught in the middle of a tropical storm for the whole 3 days we were there. But what I would do for a gem that size today, now, 5 years on, again, we probably made a big mistake when we first started bringing the gemstones because we were just so excited to have some material that was 80 points, 70 points, dare I say even half a carat. We were setting that material like it was nothing. Setting it into silver, I remember, setting it to 9 carat gold even. And today, I mean, we're lucky if you get a 12, 14, maybe 15 pointer, you're doing quite a good job if it's Jedi red spinel.
The Jade trade is the most unique gemstone trade I've ever come across. Nowhere else in the gem world are you expected to buy something without knowing exactly what you're buying. Let me give you an example. Many of the traders here at this market for jade are selling boulders of jade, but nobody really knows what they're going to get inside, because from the outside you have this skin of the host rock surrounding the boulder. It's only when you cut it open do you find out about the jade inside. Now the problem is that you can either buy it blind and you get a good price, but if you cut it open in half, you pay exactly what the dealer's asking for, no negotiation. I've never bought stones blind before.
This is really where it all began. This moment here, I remember this. we were at the market just outside of where the jade is mined, and Dave now, gosh, we'd have never known at the time, Dave now was so fascinated by this jade, it became this mission, this course for him. And you know, we look back today, and people joining our organization know Gemporia as the leading jewelry house for jadeite in the Western world. That one little window into this enigmatic gem that normally never leaves China. And it all began at this moment.